Hi everyone, I hope you are. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thank you for support. Okay, big up to CoinsKid creators. So Bitcoin is running into this resistance and a 0.50 fib, like I said to you, you run into it. So you definitely conform into this trend line and this fib. Okay, you know, and at some point, potentially, if you do start to roll and come back, you want to see key levels of support held. So you invalidate the rollover here and the continuation that you're coming up, running into resistance and rolling. Okay, so there is another pattern that I've spotted here for Bitcoin. Okay, on the weekly time frame, I'm going to show you. So at the moment, you know, you've got this potential. I don't particularly like this big head and shoulders pattern, I'll be honest with you. You know, I don't particularly like it, but you know, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not real, basically, because it is some kind of head and shoulders pattern at the end of the day, isn't it? You got your left shoulder, you got your big head, you got your right shoulder, which is very weak compared to the left shoulder. I do like to see them symmetrical by design, to be honest with you. And you can see that you have lost it. You've ran into the resistance, you've come down, made a low, you ran into resistance again, you've made a higher low, and right now you run into resistance once more. Okay, so if you do start to reject, you do want to see key levels of support held here for Bitcoin in a retracement. Okay, and that's basically what Bitcoin will be doing. You would essentially be retracing to this low just there. Let me show you your retracement levels. If it does begin to retrace and you are getting a bit overextended, so you retrace into this low just there, and you would see that, you know, you come in on the 0.50 fib, you got the 382 sitting there at 42. Where is that? 42244 424, sorry. But one fib here that looks quite nice actually is the 0236 at 44580. So if Bitcoin was to start to retrace, I personally would put some bids on that level there, because you can see it's pretty much tying up with this neckline, okay, of this huge ascending triangle, which you've broken out, run into resistance, potentially come back to support, and then break out and actually meet the technical target just there. If you fail to get through this level of resistance right now over the next couple of days, and Bitcoin does come in for some kind of retracement, you know, potentially by Friday, or you know, over the weekend, you have some kind of big correction here, some kind of ABC down to the EMAs as well, and down to the 236. That could offer an amazing opportunity, and everyone at that point will get really bearish, but it'll be some kind of bear trap coming back. But at that point, you felt support held on the daily 20 EMA as well, just like you did here. You broke out, you created a buy and go to the beach just there. Look, equally you got one just there. You went into resistance and you come back for support, and you know, what is that? It's 3 days of a correction. So let's, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So, you know, let's say we start correcting today. By Saturday, Sunday, you could have the correction done. You could be on the EMAs there, the 20 EMA. You could be bouncing off a 236, and at that point, that would be an amazing entry point for Bitcoin with a really tight stop loss to start to come back up. And that's if you fail to break this resistance, because at that point, all you've done is broke out, ran into resistance, and come back to the neckline of a technical target that puts you in a technical target to 56,515. But what we do need to see is this break of this red line as resistance, because once you break that and backtest and turn into support, you're negating two relatively bearish patterns here. One is a big monster head and shoulders, which I don't like, you know, I've gone through that with you, and a potential rising wedge pattern here. Okay, so you want to see these patterns negated because the bearish patterns. But what I'm going to show you right now is another pattern that I've spotted, a very bullish pattern for Bitcoin. I'm going to show you it. Okay, so this is the thing, there's so many patterns and so many trend lines and, you know, fib targets and things like that, but you are going to move up and down in waveforms. Okay, you are going to come up, you are going to come down, you are going to come up, you are going to come down, and you're going to do it like this. And this is the way the markets work, you're fully aware. But it's all about your lows that you create. Like I said to you, this low here, when you started to retrace to this high, I said to you, as long as you come down, don't lose that low, you're good. And you did. You come down and you held that low, and right now you came up here, and I said to you, as long as you don't come down and lose this low, you're good. So it's all about your lows, because you're creating higher lows and higher highs at the moment. So this is really nice market structure, okay, that we want to see continued. But you are going to come in for retracements, you are going to come in for back tests of support, and that's healthy, providing they hold. Okay, so you know, this is a big pattern that we do need to keep an eye on. This key level resistance right here that Bitcoin is conforming to, the 0.50 fib. You start to break out through that, I do think you go into that. Okay, so anyway, this big pattern that I've spotted. So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, then I think right now you're in a technical target to way above the all-time high here. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. And I like to draw trend lines and mess around with the charts. You know, this is what you do, you experiment. So for me, look at this level of resistance just here for Bitcoin. Okay, this is the weekly time frame. Look at this key level of resistance that you've been conforming to just here for Bitcoin. Okay, key level resistance. See this? And you're coming down. You fell back into this resistance. You previously holding its support just there. You lost its support, and then you rallied into resistance. resistance, and just there, look, you've literally broke out. Look, you broke out. Look at the God candle. That's what happens when you break out. You break out with big candles, basically. So that's a massive level of resistance that you've now broken out, okay? From here, you've got equally another trend line. Do you see this trend line just there? So this was support, basically, on the way up here. In January last year, we found support on it. Right now, we ran into resistance. We came back to support in the summer. We held it. And at that point, we started to break out, ran into resistance, came back to the EMAs just there, which we're seeing as breakout. And again, like I said to you, when you break out, you do see the big candles, which is pretty much what you're getting right now, okay? So you broke out just there, okay? And you ran into resistance just there. And what's happened is you've had something called a throwback back into the pattern. Now, look how close you've got to the apex of this particular pattern. This is, in fact, called a bull pennant. It's basically a continuation pattern where you've come up, you've caught up inside of it, and you're looking to continue. But what happened is you broke out, okay? You've had a bit of a throwback into the pattern. Again, look at the support, the confluence there, the support of this pattern, okay? This trend line that you broke out resistance, you fell back to support. Technically, you should have held it there and then started to break out again. All you've done is back test the previous resistance and support, but you can see you've had a throwback back into the pattern, caught up right towards the apex, like I said to you, price compression, and at that point, you've exploded and you're breaking out right now. So, you know, the technical target of this pattern I'm going to show you right now is from here to here, okay, and it's all the way down to there. That's a bull pennant, and basically you've broken out just there, okay? Now you can see that technical target is around about $82,000. So what I'm going to do is drop the fib on right now for you from there to there, and you can see that pretty much is the 1272 fib at the moment at around about 83,981. So I do think at the moment, you know, regardless of coming up and down and back to this neckline like this, Bitcoin is actually on a journey, and that's your minimal target that you're in right now, is the 1272, and it's conforming because you've got the breakout target of this particular bull pennant, which you broke out, throw back into the pattern, caught up, which is very bullish, and you can see you're breaking out, okay, and that's your technical target that I do think you're actually in. Now obviously you're in other technical targets. The more you zoom in, you're going to look at 4 hour, you know, the daily. You're going to be in technical targets where you hit targets, come back, and everything moves in waveforms. Like I've said to you, everything moves in waveforms to these targets, okay? So this is the macro target at the moment of this big bull pennant that you caught up inside of. You had a bit of a throwback into the pattern just there, caught up, boom. There's a lot of confluence here with this neckline, okay? Look at this support and this resistance at the moment. So one thing to validate this particular bullish pattern right now and negate those bearish patterns that I've shown you is break that key level resistance, okay, and start to come up against a 0.50 fib, you know, break it, start to back test and turn into support. And I do think Bitcoin's going to get extremely bullish at that point, and you're looking at a minimal 1272, which is around about 83,981 Bitcoin, and at that point you start to go beyond to the 1618 and, you know, potentially other targets. But this is the journey that we're on at the moment, okay? You're caught up, boom, broke out basically. So that's Bitcoin. Good luck everybody. I wish you the most luck. Take care. Back soon with another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.